maximum drive.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Henshin Time. Today we're taking a look at the driver from the current and one of the most awesome Kamen Rider series, the Sengoku driver from Kamen Rider Gaim. And before we get looking at the driver, let's take a look at the box. So here's the front of the box. On the right side we've got a picture of Kamen Rider Gaim. On the left side we got a picture of Kamen Rider Baron. On the top we can see the top of Gaim's head as well as the Baron plate. And if I flip this flap up, here's a DX flap showing you the two lock seeds you get and a picture of Kamen Rider Baron. On the bottom you can see Kamen Rider Gaim and Baron and everything you get in this set. And the all-important back of the box with all the information. This top section here shows how the toy's used. And these sections here show you other DX lock seeds you can get and how to get them. Alright, that's enough looking at the box. Let's look at the damn toy already. So here is the DX Sengoku driver. Pretty basic looking from the outside, but there's a whole lot that goes with this. Here's the little knife piece that does all the actions. And you can actually take this off. If you look closely here, the knife piece hits buttons, and that does a lot of the actions. Here, I'll show you. See that there? Yeah. Here's a close-up of the knife piece. Pretty standard. And there's a piece that goes in. Just snap it in like so. Like previous drivers, the belt loops are removable, and they're standard again. Removable on both sides. On the back is the battery compartment right there. And on top you should see the speaker there. This spot right here is where the plates go. Speaking of plates, these are the two you get in this set, the Gaim and Baron plates, and they make their own specific sounds for those riders. Now the lock seeds that you get in this set are the DX Orange and Banana lock seeds. One for Gaim and one for Baron. And these being DX, they do the most functions, as well as work perfectly with the driver. Alright, so let's go ahead and start using this thing. Let's go ahead and turn it on.
Sengoku driver.
And we'll start by putting on the Gaim plate. No put on sound for the Gaim plate because it's the standard sounds. So let's go ahead and start with the orange lock seed. Let's start by turning it on. Now there's other functions with these lock seeds. If you press the button on the back right here, this will initiate the Inves game. It actually is usually really hard to get the you lose sound. 90% of the time you win, so that was lucky. All DX lock seeds do this, except for a few, but we'll get into those later. Alright, let's go ahead and activate this. Just to give you a better look at the LED here, I'm going to press it again. Alright, let's do a Henshin. And there we have it. Gaim Orange Arms. Now let's do the final attacks. Starting with Skosh. Now let's do the Olay. And finally, the Sparking. And there you have it. So just one more sound to show you on both the driver and the lock seed.
Lock off.
And then if you take this off, there, one more sound. Now, as an added bonus, we're going to take a look at some other lock seeds that Gaim uses in the series. Now, keep in mind, most of these are not DX lock seeds. Some of these are candy toy or capsule toy. I'm going to start with a candy toy lock seed that I have here. This is the... As you can see, the noise wasn't made when I opened this up. That's because there's no on and off switch on the bottom of these. There's also no LED. But that's what the inside looks like. All the noises are made by the button on the back in sequence. But they still work in the drive. So without the lock seed, you can do all the sounds, but I'm going to show you the sounds in the driver. As you can see, the candy toy ones don't have put on sound. But the driver still makes sounds for it. There we go. Pine arms, or pineapple arms. Now something interesting about the capsule and candy toy lock seeds, this is actually a capsule one, I said candy toy, my bad, is they do certain sounds in sequence. So for instance, I'll show you here, if I do the skosh, as you can see, if you wait too long, it starts the sequence over. So if I do this, it'll do the Henshin again. So you gotta be quick with these. So next let's do the skosh. Now I can't do the Olay or the sparking right after that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit it one more time for the extra sound that comes exclusive with the capsule toy version. See, Kamen Rider Gaim Pine Arm. Now if we want to do the Olay and the sparking, we have to go through the entire sequence again, and you have to do double when you do the attack sequence. So if I do this, it goes back to that, Henshin. Then if we hit this twice, it'll do the Olay. Now we have to do that sequence again to get to sparking. So just one moment, I'll cut to that. Let's do the sparking. And there you have it.
Lock off.
Because there's no LED, there's no sounds for taking this off as well. So that's one of the disadvantages of having the candy and capsule toy versions. Well, let's move on. Now on to another form of Gaim. And this one's actually a candy toy one this time. So let's go ahead and do it.
Lock on.
And there you go, Ichigo arms. Now let's do the skosh. Now the Olay. Now the sparking. And now for the extra sound that comes with this version. And that's about it. Alright, that's enough Gaim stuff. Let's move on to Baron. Put on the plate.
Come on.
As you saw there, or heard probably, it has its own different sound. That's because the Gaim plates are the default sounds. Even when there's no plate on it, it will still do the Gaim plate sounds. It only changes when you use different plates like Baron. And more that we'll see here in a moment. Anyways, let's get started with the Baron ones here. And we'll start with Banana.
Banana.
And to show you again with the LED.
Banana.
Alright, let's do a Henshin.
Lock on. Come on. Banana arm.
Now you heard with the Baron plate, there was a different waiting sequence on the Sengoku driver. That's because it depends on the plate you use. When activating sounds for Henshin and such, those are based on the lock seed, not on the driver. So Henshin and the attacks are from the lock seed, but the waiting sound and the activation are from the driver, as I will show you here with the skosh.
Come on. Banana skosh.
Now let's try the Olay.
Come on. Banana ole.
Now let's try the sparking.
Come on. Banana sparking.
And there you have it.
Lock off.
Now, just like with the Gaim one, I got some extras here with Baron's forms. Let's start with...
Mango.
And before we go on, I just want to show you, this is a special chrome edition of the capsule toys. The chrome ones are a little more expensive, but they look super nice. They're basically the same thing, though, in terms of sounds and sequence. So let's go ahead and do this.
Lock on. Come on. Mango arms. Fight over hammer.
And there you go, mango arms. So just like the other candy and capsule toy types, let's do the sequences. First, Skosh.
Come on. Mango squash.
Alright, let's do the Ole.
Come on. Mango ore.
Now let's do the Sparking.
Come on. Mango sparking.
And the extra sound for being a capsule type.
Come on. Kamen Rider. Bottle. Mango arms.
And that's about it. Now next up is a form that actually both Gaim and Baron use in the series, and that is
Suika.
my favorite lock seed, Suika or watermelon. Alright, let's do it.
Lock on. Come on.
Alright, now for the Skosh.
Come on. Squash.
Alright, now for the Ole.
Come on. Ore.
Now for the Sparking.
Come on. Sparking.
And the extra sound for this obviously being a candy toy.
Come on.
Alright, and now let's move on to the next rider. And this time it's special because we're looking at a DX lock seed and plate. Let's just remove Baron. So it has a removing sound as you heard. But next, let's add in the plate for